Although edited for television, tonight's thriller contains scenes of suspense and violence which may be unsuitable for young viewers. Parental discretion is advised.
State-of-the-art Japanese animation.
Do you want to finish your meal, Dan, or should we get going?
Good question. I don't know. Can you guys hear me chewing that loud?
We can tell when your face is full.
What I think I'm good about Golden Boy is hold on a second.
Yeah, when you say it like that, now I feel bad for eating when we do these things. I feel like I'm just delaying when we can really start up. But personally, I'm fine with eating while we converse. You know, it works okay for me. I don't know if the chewing sounds or my delicious food or something is just too distracting.
There we go. Is that better?
Oh my gosh, you look like a found footage movie.
Yeah, don't fuck with cats.
Oh, I couldn't even watch that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It made me so angry.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, with that, and on that note, we'll just get going, yeah? Welcome back to Otaku Host Club, not the Otaku Melancholy, but we do have some guests from that podcast. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Oh, is this? Do you want to go first, Brad? Because you normally always go last. Switch it up a little bit.
Hi, I'm Brad from the Otaku Melancholy Podcast, and quick question, real quick, to break the veil. Do I need to hit the record button on my side?
Nope, I got you covered.
Okay, good. But yeah, so I'm new to Zoom, and I don't know how to Zoom.
I'm Matt, part-time podcaster, full-time magical girl, and here I am.
There he is.
There I am. Really can't wait to talk about this show because it's really groundbreaking for me personally. I achieved a small sense of nirvana while I was watching it.
I was really surprised by this show. Like I heard it talked about being an ecchi and also a comedy, but this was something else.
It has everything you would ever want from a comedy and ecchi series. It's like a mashup of all those things, if you could describe it that way.
For real.
Yeah. But we will get to that in a minute. We have our normal guests as well. Geoff here. I'm just going to keep saying that from now on.
Jeffrey!
Just Jeffrey!
Jeffrey!
Geoff with a G. How about that?
The better Geoff.
And I'm Amelia. And if Golden Boy has taught me anything, is that you better keep a clean toilet.
That's very true. Scarily so.
And I'm Dan. I'm here eating on the air once again. I also want to be a golden boy after I've seen this show. I'm assuming the golden boy means the golden shower boy.
I was, I'm glad you got to it where I did.
Oh my gosh.
From one pissing episode to the next.
Holy shit.
Have any of us ever pissed on somebody in a erotic manner?
I came onto this podcast with the explicit demand that not be asked.
Oh, really? Sorry.
No, but are we being for serious? Is this like an actual question?
And if we are, does the self count?
Yeah, well, you can go into as much or as little detail as you want, or just, lie about it or what. I mean, making conversation. Personally, I have never done this before on the receiving or the giving end, but I'm not opposed to it in my own life. I mean,
well, you know what? I mean, just fuck it. I've been pissed on before. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Was it erotic or like a what?
Do you want?
Yeah.
Do you just want me to just blab this all out?
Well,
Yeah.
So, okay, so one of my sexual partners had never actually like orgasmed before, right? And so what they would do is if they wanted the person to feel good and like not like feel bad that things didn't happen, then they would pee a little bit on them, pretending that was squirt. And
Wow.
And yeah, like I didn't find out until like way after the fact, but I guess I was unintentionally pissed on. So
Damn. Secret pissing.
yeah,
But I feel that. I mean, I understand how that is a scenario that plays out.
yeah. Well,
I peed in the same shower as somebody. Does that count?
Oh yeah, who hasn't
It's
done
like-
that?
That's like the most efficient way.
Yeah.
Just get it all done, you know?
Yeah. Oh, but all right. Have we ever? This is one that I've always wanted to do, and we talked about, me and a previous girlfriend had talked about doing this, but we didn't actually get around to doing it. Where one person is sitting on the toilet peeing, and the other person is standing in front of them and pees in between their legs into the toilet. I always thought that'd be a pretty interesting.
I always
trick.
wanted to try that.
I
Yeah,
feel like
it's
there'd be a
very
lot of sprinkling.
that's oddly like, am I the only one who thinks that that's peculiarly romantic? The amount of trust involved in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of intimacy in that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna like.
Yeah, put in your notes for later.
Write it down in your notebook.
Want to pee between legs while peeing.
And the reason why we're talking about this now is because we watched Kiss Sis, and we discussed this on Otaku Melancholy's podcast, which you need to go listen to right now because it's great, fantastic. Why don't you tell us about your favorite character, Dan, from that show?
In Kiss X6.
Yeah.
Oh, the peeing girl for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's peeing like a motherfucker. The majority of her screen time is spent either kind of like wobbling about because she's got to pee really bad, or just flagrantly pissing the fucking Pacific Ocean, on screen. It was very entertaining.
She has like trauma-induced peeing whenever she sees the main guy.
Yeah. When you say it like that, it sounds a little bit more dark than the show really frames it.
It's like
I feel like her
the,
peeing is the happiest part of the show.
It's like the trauma of Mac the pug or whatever.
Yeah, good memory. Good
Yeah.
memory.
I legitimately forgot the name of that show. I was like, wow, this is a Golden Boy is a good edgy compared to that other show we did. What was the name of it? Like a person I didn't like from high school. I forgot the name, and it's like, it's probably a good thing I forgot. So thank you for reminding me.
Oh my god. It wasn't that bad.
It was miserable.
It was not. You just want to have a hate boner for things because
It was so bad it made Aeromaga Sensei jump up 2 points.
It's not even. I'm not here to fight you. I can do that later on my own damn time. But you're wrong, and you'll always be wrong. And lead on, Geoff.
This podcast is not about peeing and sex.
What?
If you're a first-time listener, but we are talking about Golden Boy, and
Comes with the territory.
yes, we're going to get into the nitty and gritty of the show. But before that, I just wanted to ask you guys a few questions. So how did you start Otaku Melancholy, and what was the impetus?
Take it away, Matt. I was like minding my own business in like mid-December, and Matt said, "Hey, I got a New Year's resolution. I'm going to do a podcast. You're going to be on it. I got a microphone. We'll do it." And I'm like, "All right."
That's a rough one. I mean, it was basically it was just, I watch a lot of anime. I want to talk about anime. And then it was, who do I know that can talk about anime? And I had a short list, and I said, who can I talk about anime that's tolerable? And that's why we got Brad.
Hey.
And I guess the name was just random. Originally, it was Anime Blues. but that's the name of a convention, and I didn't want to get sued just in case, so it just changed everything around. And
So is this like a blues convention with anime?
That's what that's what I thought, but no, it was just called Anime Blues, and it was just a bunch of like their entire motif was blue. Like their business cards were blue, their website was blue. But it's just that's basically the name. It's just I couldn't get Anime Blues because it was already taken, so it became Otaku Melancholy.
You didn't want big anime sad.
Where's Anime Blues convention happening? Is it like on the coast, so they're looking out at the ocean or something?
I don't know where the name came from, but
they've got one thing and they're gonna run with it forever.
I mean, I don't know.
Originally, we called it Otaku Melancholia, but we reduced it by one syllable because it was kind of a mouthful.
I mean, it was already to the point where my other friends were calling it like Otaku Misery, Otaku. They were making fun of it, and I was like, "Listen, I like big long words that mean sad." But yeah,
we debated using otaku in the title at all. I mean, maybe it's a little redundant, but maybe that's the point.
Well, I think the name is really, really fucking cool. Like when I sounded it, I was like, damn, I wish I'd thought of that. That rolls a lot better off the tongue.
Credits to Amelia for that one.
I was just throwing them out there, though. I got a plenty if you want to change yours.
What are some of them?
What were
Anime
they?
Big Sad.
Yeah, that one.
The Weeping Weeb.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh shit, taking it.
New podcast name, I called it.
So what are you guys into? Like what's your go-to anime picks? What makes you breathe?
I like giant robots.
Well, yeah, I guess so, huh? Is that all you've got to contribute to the conversation? You're just gonna leave me on my own?
I guess I got Monster Girls too.
I like Slice of Life. I like Slice of Life because it makes me forget how crappy my life is.
Same.
That. I'm actually like my anime shelf is like right next to where I'm recording, so I'm looking over there going, pick something cool, so you sound really, really, really awesome, and I'm just looking over there and all I can see is Gantz, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say Gantz. All I can see over here is Gantz, One Piece, and Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is my favorite anime, guys.
We're waiting for that adaptation, right?
Yeah.
Well, they did have a cartoon, didn't they?
Yeah, the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
They had multiple cartoons because then they had Ghostbusters Generation X, I think it was called, where one of the guys was in a wheelchair.
Ooh.
Polnareff?
It was a more diverse cast of Ghostbusters.
I like that. I'm just gonna say Slice of Life and Magical Girls. I love me some Maho Shoujo.
Well, if I had to give some examples from my anime shelf, it would be
Gundam.
Big O. Shit, it's also a mecha.
Oh my god.
I got Land of the Lustrous, Maiden Abyss, and Higurashi. Oh, and Clannad. I got Clannad.
Aren't they making a new Higurashi anime?
They are.
Yeah, they are.
Do we have any sense of if this is going to be good or not?
It's Higurashi, so
Is it going to have the same cast, characters?
Well, I don't remember the exact details. I think it's kind of one of those just adaptations to sort of revitalize the brand, sort of like what Orphan was, you know? Like I played the visual novels and there's not more content for them to adapt really, like outside of the 3 series that they did. So
really?
Yeah. So I think all of it really is just a revitalization of the brand that way. maybe they can make more content, or maybe they've got like another plan set up. I don't know, but I think it is just basically a retelling.
Interesting. I didn't know that. And yeah, I watched the Higurashi anime in college, and I remember thinking it was fine, but it didn't didn't mean anything to me. It was enjoyable, but I haven't thought about it for 10 years or whatever. But then I saw that the headline that they were making a new anime of it. And I was like, oh, really? That's a little bit of a blast from the past. It feels so random. Yeah. But I guess I didn't know that there wasn't any more content. It's really random.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that, like, from my personal, just looking at seasonal stuff, I think now it's kind of taking a little bit of what the Hollywood method is and taking old things and then bringing them back, because there was no way that, and I'm still got a big old hate boner about it, but Orphan didn't need to get remade. And there's a few other shows that are coming out that are supposed to just be the same thing, or they're revitalizing old brands like the new Inuyasha anime or Yasha Hime. Like, I personally, I'm a big fan of Inuyasha, but I don't think that there's a continuation that's needed. Me personally.
It might be a Fantastic Four situation where they make a movie just so they don't lose the rights.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm. Although I don't know how the copyright situation works in Japan.
So I'm going to ask this as someone that has never seen a single episode of Inuyasha. Doesn't Inuyasha not actually end? Like, the anime version doesn't end in a meaningful way and just kind of stops in the middle of something?
They have the original series. The original series just ends with, well, we're going to get Naraku eventually. Not today, but eventually. And then I think 10 years later or 5 years, somewhere down the line, they made a continuation called Inuyasha, the Final Act, which wrapped up the story.
Oh, okay. Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're planning on doing a Rumiko Takahashi episode, hopefully next month, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've started rewatching Meisani Koku for that reason. Granted, I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes in right now. But yeah, nice little show. That's the I watched Ranma 1/2 years ago, but didn't really mean very much to me. But Meisani Koku I remember liking a lot, and it still sits pretty well for me as I watch it now.
I've only got experience with Inuyasha and Rene, and I want to go through Meisani Koku and Ranma and Urusei Yatsura. Or is that's by Takahashi, right? Yeah, like I've got a big gap, and basically all of it is just because of Inuyasha and Rene, because that came out when I was coherent with anime and not just watching what was on TV. So I've got the first graphic novel over there, like back when Viz was not making graphic like manga, but just flipping manga and calling it graphic novels of Meisani Koku, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be a long episode. I'm not sure how we're going to break that down, but yeah, we'll see. You guys want to jump in? Start dissecting this show?
Yeah, let's faces to the toilet seat, as it were.
All right.
So like you said, we're doing it episode by episode, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
Well, as we talk about just diving right in, I thought immediately. My experience with Golden Boy, I did not know anything about this show. I watched 1 episode in passing with Steven along the way, but I have never even heard of this show outside of Steven being like, "Oh, let's watch an episode of Golden Boy. It's pretty funny," and we had it on in the background as we were, chatting and hanging out and whatnot. But I loved this through and through and thought it was absolutely spectacular. And I felt like, as we talk about just diving right into it, immediately within the first 20 seconds of the first episode, they build the character, they build the main character so well by having those two like fashionable Japanese schoolgirl teenagers walking by, and they're like, can you believe some people sing along on their head, listening to their headphones? What a bunch of idiots. Only idiots do that. And then you see the main character riding by on his bicycle, awkwardly singing along to his headphones. And it's like, immediately, like, all right, this guy's a happy-go-lucky idiot, and his character is just established strongly and, just really eloquently right off the bat. So really well done.
Yeah, Kentaro Oe is the protagonist in this show. Where he's like 25 years old, drops out of Tokyo University, decides to travel Japan, and becomes a freeder, which is a slang term for people who lack full-time employment or unemployed. People who don't have a career, just like straight from high school, they start working in low-skilled jobs or low-paid jobs.
Important to point out, though, he willingly drops out. Like, he didn't fail. He left his college because he mastered the curriculum and said, I'm done here.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a very interesting twist in the first episode. And so far as you go through the entire first episode feeling like, okay, this guy is just some idiot and that's entertaining, then at the last second it's revealed to you that actually this guy is he's not even socially inept. He's just a flat out genius that has rebuked kind of the traditional career path and chosen this much more like free and lackadaisical way of life, on his own volition. And rather than studying, because he's mastered all academic subjects, or at least that's what you can assume, he's chosen to study the human condition and study people and their behavior and their emotion because he just can't figure it out. It's the most complex problem of all. It makes him a very endearing kind of character.
And surprisingly believable. Like, a lot of ecchi protagonists, or even like a isekai or shonen protagonists, always have that personality of like, I'm so much better than everyone else. But Kentaro's just a happy-go-lucky guy, and he gets in a lot of trouble. He's a raging pervert, but he's a very intelligent but not show-offy about it, and he uses his gifts to improve a lot of situations, and he's very believable and very just fun to watch.
Yeah, he's very, very likable. I was briefly aware of Golden Boy before I watched this, and bringing it back to our podcast, I dunked on Brad in a question about it in our anime quiz bowl episode. Yeah. But when I first saw Kentaro, I thought he looked kind of like in all honesty, he looked to me like a hentai protagonist with his ponytail and such. And I thought I wasn't going to like him. I thought he was going to be a pervert, and it was just going to be he was going to be sort of like a character that anybody could sort of sit in and just say, well, I'm like that, or I can relate to these situations, but I'm not like Kentaro at all. He's really smart. He's really likable, even in his perviness. He's not like one of those lecher types. He's not actively going out of his way to see the titty. He's just, it's happening to him, and he's trying to be civil about it. And it's really endearing, really, really endearing. And he's adorable. He's adorable. And also he got a good dick.
Yeah. This show has a special place in my heart. I think I was in 10th grade, high school, and I was dating this girl. He was 3 years older than me. Just gonna put that out there. Just saying. Ooh. Anyway,
older women.
Ooh.
That's not important, but
it is now.
It is now. So we hang out. We invite some friends over. We pop this bad boy, and I've kind of heard a little bit about it at the time, and we start watching it, and it's the dub. All right, I don't know if you guys watched the dub version of this.
I've watched both versions.
Same.
What's the dub?
The dub's actually it's actually really good. And surprisingly so.
I actually prefer to dub.
Yeah, and I believe it was this was licensed in '95 originally, and then by ADV in 2000, like early 2000s. And so yeah, we start watching it, and it's just like line after line, we're crying. I'm laughing. I'm feeling good, and we watched the entire thing in one sitting, right? So this is sort of formative to someone, I don't know, I guess at my age. And anyway, like, so I have this on DVD. It's a classic in my opinion. And maybe if it had a comeback at one point, we would get like, maybe the follow-up to these 6 episodes. These are like short vignettes. They're really quick. How they managed to make them into 30-minute episodes is pretty cool. But yeah, the first episode enters Kentaro, and he's riding his bike, like Dan said, and he gets hit by a sports car, right? Gets knocked off his bike, crashes, and he gets introduced to the first lovely maiden. Can we call her that? Is that
yeah?
Sure.
Okay.
No, I think it makes sense.
I mean, it's
I
your
don't have
show.
her test results back.
The first lovely maiden has the most gratuitous breast animation I think I've ever seen in my life.
He's got real
She
puffy
does.
nips.
She's got like nickel nipples. They poke right through.
And her breasts are still bouncing around. Like, if she moves on screen, like she'll have her movement and stop, and then her breasts are still juggling for a good 3 to 5 seconds after she's stopped moving.
You can make like a GIF out of it, and it's just a constantly looping GIF.
Yeah.
Submit that to r/perfect loops.
She's got nice. She's got good breasts.
That outfit is outrageous, though.
Yeah.
For an office? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
If you're wearing that in an office,
They don't wear stuff like that in Japan, guys. Don't get it wrong.
Are you saying that it's not going to be like that in Japan?
well, maybe when I go, we'll find out.
In all my
It'll be
time
like
in
a-
Japan, I have never seen a woman's breast bounce like that.
The jiggle counter, is that still a thing?
Oh,
What is the jiggle count?
I think it was like some kind of special feature in maybe Plastic Little on the DVD. Like it would count the amount of times that someone's breast went up and down.
oh,
Wow.
well.
Cool.
That sounds like a good drinking
Yeah.
game.
Oh dear.
Get the fuck on that, Funimation.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good little fan bonus. Personally, I
Yeah.
think that's more applicable to Street Fighter, isn't it? Because of Chun-Li's animation.
Oh, yeah. Chun-Li's animation is literally insane.
Speaking of which, the studio that worked on this did work on Street Fighter Alpha Generation, so there
Really?
you go.
Wow.
All right.
Ooh.
You know what else they worked on?
What?
The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure OVA from
Yeah, the
1993.
Really?
Yeah. This is Shueisha, right? Or KSS?
APPP.
APPP, okay.
APPP.
Oh, they also worked on Project Echo as well. But it's funny because the director for the show worked on Cream Lemon.
Mhm.
Oh, shit. He's really got a brain.
Also,
for it.
lots of peeing.
Yeah, see the connection?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's all making sense.
It's all the plan's all coming together.
But I will say, even more than any of the toilet fetish or weird peeing stuff, the part of Golden Boy that I singularly like the most is when the blonde, lovely maiden is yelling at him in the office, and then she like spits on him, and he just opens his mouth like with this giant grin and just catches her spit in his mouth.
Oh my.
That actually had me laugh out loud. I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
that's a sexy guy."
Kind of
you know?
relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a programming firm, right?
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, man, I want that to be my life. Good God. That's some spicy shit.
Is this what it's like working at Microsoft?
Yeah. Can't we do that in my office? Fuck.
Yeah. And so he has no programming skills at all. He's working at this place and he's building his own computer from scratch, and it's on cardboard.
Yeah. He's running BASIC.
Yeah. Which made me feel bad because that was my first programming language too. I was like, what's wrong with Visual Basic? There ain't nothing wrong with Visual Basic. Come on.
So yeah, they're making this software, and by the end of the episode, Kentaro manages to unplug all the computers, right, or the servers in the office.
Yeah.
And they hate him for it, right? Obviously. But eventually they start the computers back up. They got this new program, and he's implemented new, what would you call it?
Made it more
features.
user friendly.
Yeah. And it kind of looks like, he has added character animations and things like that to it. But there's this theme where he works at a place, he fucks up, and eventually they end up liking him at the end. He's got some redeeming quality about him.
Well, he usually does everything better than whoever he's working for. So like in the swimming episode, she's like literally an Olympic swimmer. And he's like, I'm going to learn it and I'm going to do better than you. Give me a month. And then he literally does that.
Yeah, well, a lot of these episodes kind of rest on the crux that nobody knows Kentaro is secretly some genius guy. Like with the computer stuff, I mean, yeah, when he walks in there, his only prior experience with computers was when he made himself just wrote down a keyboard on a piece of cardboard and pretended what it would be like to actually type on a computer. And, they know that he doesn't know anything about computer programming. And so when he unplugs the server and has all their programming deleted because they, didn't save it correctly, then they're so pissed. But they certainly are not expecting that Kentaro is just so smart that he can learn computer programming in a week and reprogram their entire program from scratch off the top of his head because he's just that much of a genius.
It took them 3 months to make with a full team.
Yeah. And on the one hand, that is, like far-fetched and unrealistic. But on the other hand, like when you're watching it in the show, you just feel really good when Kentaro is able to pull it off in the end and kind of win back over these lovely maidens that get so mad at him for fucking up.
I think it's because he doesn't boast about it at all. Like he's like, oh, I messed this up. Here you go. I fixed it. No big deal. I'll be on my way now. Bye. Yeah,
because after he redid the program, that the lovely maiden was ready to offer him a job on the spot. She wanted him to keep working there and saw his valuable asset. But yeah, as you say, he just was like, okay, I think I've learned enough at this place. I'm moving on to the next place. And just got on his bicycle and rode off into the sunset, never to be heard from again.
Study. He makes his way to another maiden, which is what? She's a high school student?
Yeah. Daughter of like a Yakuza boss who's running for mayor or something like that.
Yeah. The Yakuza make their appearance in like all these episodes. I'm like, why is that an underlining thing?
Because they got their hands in everything.
Yeah.
So he's tutoring this Yakuza's daughter, and she starts to control him more or less, like kind of makes him his slave, kind of.
Well, she's like manipulating him a little bit. She like kind of tantalizes him with sexiness to manipulate him and manipulate him. Yeah.
Teasing him and whatnot.
Yeah. He learns to rotate his head 360 degrees.
This is second episode was the episode where was the peak of my problem where I was laughing. I was laughing hard, but I was also hard. and I was struggling because I was like, I'm aroused, and yet I am laughing really hard, and I didn't know what to do about it. Like I was confused. I was confused. Yeah. But I really liked the second episode. I just like, what I like about Kentaro is kind of just shown off in this episode a lot, and that he's not intentionally trying to do it, but he's not resisting it either. He's just, I like that. I like that a lot, especially just after coming off of, like, I've been rewatching Love Hina, and I'm so fucking tired of Love Hina because of Keitaro. So it's just like being this. I like how Kentaro. I like Kentaro a lot better as a main character than any other sort of harem-esque protagonist ever. Just because he's not, he succumbs to his baser urges, but he's trying to do better in a way. Yeah. But he's and that's fun. He's fun
a human fucking being. It's like, you see some section, it's like, well, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say no to the titty, but at the same time, I should not be looking at the underage titty, and I like that.
Yeah, he's enjoying the moment.
Yeah,
I think the closest character I can think of that's like Kentaro might be Onizuka from TTO.
Yeah, it's good that you brought that up, because that was also on my mind as I was watching this. Was very similar in tone and emotion to me as great teacher Onizuka.
Well, one of the, what's his name, Tateagawa, his assistants plagiarized one of his manga, Be Free, into great teacher Onizuka.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. So he was. So who wrote Great Teacher Onizuka? Who wrote that?
A genius.
A genius. Have you guys seen that show at all? Have you watched any episodes?
I've seen the first 4 episodes of it, and the funny story about it is that I didn't mean to watch Great Teacher Onizuka. I meant to watch Cobra. And the main characters, they don't look anything similar, but like it was in a magazine that I was reading, and I was like, whoa, this guy looks cool. And it was like the picture of the Cobra guy was next to the article about Great Teacher Onizuka. So I watched the first 4 episodes, and I was like, I don't think this is what I wanted, but it's okay. So that's my experience with it.
Okay. I think I have it on my watch list.
Of course you do. It's on the Verve, the massive Verve queue as well.
Yeah, it's all up on Crunchyroll. It's a great watch. I'm a big fan of this show as well. I bought it on DVD earlier this year.
Nice. Ooh, nice.
Did
you ever find out about that Great Teacher Onizuka thing?
Oh yeah. What's his name? Toru? That's who wrote it, and who is probably the the plagiarizer. So the original manga is called Be Free, that Tateagawa wrote, and he turned it into Great Teacher Onizuka.
Bastard.
Yeah. They joke about it.
Well, that makes it okay then.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I know you stole from me. I did. I made it better, though.
I was really shocked at the end of episode 2 of Golden Boy when our lovely maiden offered OA her virginity.
Yeah.
So blatantly. It's just like, just wait around. Keep waiting around for 2 or 3 years, and then I'll give you my virginity. It's like, oh my good Lord.
Is that how it works?
Yeah. That
is how it works.
Is that like that seems like some hairdresser grooming stuff. Okay. All right.
No, it's not grooming. If she's
grooming him. She's grooming him.
I'm not on my podcast, so I can't say anything like that.
Why? Be free. Say it. Say the stuff that's going to get you in jail.
We don't have a Craig here to keep the podcast from being shut down.
Oh. Man, we should have brought Craig in on this. He would have said no, but it would have been nice. But yeah, I really like the second episode. It's not my favorite episode now.
No.
My favorite episode is my favorite episode, and I'll get to that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I would hope your favorite episode is your favorite episode, Matt.
Shut the fuck up,
It'd be really weird if it wasn't.
Shut the fuck up, Brad. I don't need you here. Your constant criticisms.
All right, see you later.
No, come stay back.
Well, yeah, the episode ends with him getting his ass kicked. This happens a lot. Kentaro is a punching bag of sorts. And he manages to survive each one. And I think the worst beating is in this next episode.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The third episode. Ooh.
Danger, the virgin's first love. Kentaro ends up in a ramen shop or udon shop, and he's an apprentice, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they got this guy, Kogure. He's a playboy, and he's trying to marry his other character, Nori. And her parents own the shop, the restaurant. And he's in the bad stuff. He's a playboy, and he's out to take this girl's heart and sleep with her and take the restaurant
And shut it down.
Shut that bad boy down.
And
No more noodles.
turn it into a Yakuza bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then make his girlfriend, his other girlfriend, the manager. A lot of
Like what is that job? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna shut down this bar and do a new one, and you can be the manager, I guess. Like that's it though. Like you can't be a part owner. You can only be the manager.
Honestly, it feels like is that udon shop just in prime real estate or something? Like it feels like a lot of work to just get a building. Wouldn't it be easier? Like if you're a high ranking Yakuza guy, which I feel like they kind of infer that this guy is like a relatively well-off Yakuza guy that has access to resources and whatnot. Wouldn't it be easier to just like muscle your way into a bank loan because you're a Yakuza guy and then just get a building that you want? Like there's all these unnecessary extra steps of like, I'll have to win this girl, like first we got to run over this girl's dad, and then we got to take him to the hospital. That'll make sure that I'm introduced to their daughter. Then I got to win over their daughter and eventually get her to marry me and then stay married long enough that I can, claim their business as my own and then divorce her. And it's like, man, there's like all sorts of extra steps to like just take money and buy a fucking building, man.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, isn't this the plot to Food Wars? This input. Okay, never mind. What were you gonna say?
As someone who's played Crusader Kings 2, sometimes it's about the intricate politics play than it is about the results themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's more satisfying to get the building that way because you could say, "Oh man, I stole this from a ramen shop," instead of just I took out a financial loan that I'll be paying back over a period of 5 years with a minimal interest rate. I mean, one sounds kind of cool, kind of dickish. The other one sounds like you've just got good finance. You're being stable with your finances.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between rich Yakuza guys and not rich Yakuza guys. Like you can keep stealing money, but what do you do with that money, and how do you keep holding on to it? Do you really want to keep stealing stuff forever? You could just invest, and then you don't need to steal stuff.
I think the mangaka really has just either a fascination with Yakuza or hates them because they're always just the worst people.
Well, he certainly has a fascination with toilets.
Yeah, I mean,
there's 6 episodes, and 4 of them involve Kentaro rubbing his face against the toilet. It's like, insert lady here sat here. Her warmth might still be there.
Yeah. Well, everyone keeps telling him to go clean the toilets. They're always like, I have no other work for you to do. Go scrub the bathrooms, you plebe. And he's like, yeah, let me scrub the bathrooms. Yeah. every time he does that, I think of that weird viral video of a like YouTube shock value celebrity YouTuber guy that licks a toilet and gets coronavirus. You guys remember that?
No.
There were like some internet headlines about that, or like some stupid motherfucker that makes YouTube videos was like being edgy, so he licked a public toilet, and then he got coronavirus from it.
Wow.
So
Well,
yeah, if OA was, if our guy Kentaro was doing this in 2020, he might have difficulty, might face some more serious repercussions.
well, he kissed the man, the guy. What's his name?
Yeah,
And
the Yakuza guy. That was really
I
funny.
love that scene.
That
was really funny.
Yeah, so he's hiding in Kogure. He's hiding in this his horse outfit, and he's jumping in. He wants to block this guy from kissing Nori and trying to elope, and he does pretty well. Wouldn't you think? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, he works it too well. Like Kogure is unbuttoning her shirt, and then immediately behind him, Kentaro just rebuttons it back up, and Kogure is like, "What the hell? I thought I unbuttoned this."
And then the zipper, and they have a fly. Yeah.
And he grabs his hand, and is like tickling it, licking it, and goes in for Kentaro's kiss. Like, I'll give her the special Kogure corkscrew tongue kiss.
That shit couldn't have felt good. Like, that looked violent.
The violent throes of passion, man.
You think he finishes?
Kogure is definitely the guy who's in it for himself.
He finishes what?
There's scenes. Yeah, there's definitely scenes where it's like he finishes, and there's they don't really show it, but it's only suggested.
What the Kogure that Kentaro's is orgasming?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Where? What scenes are there?
Whoa! I watched this on Verve. I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression that Kogure or that Kentaro was jizzing was from the window to the wall over that shit.
I'm pretty sure he either did or got very close in episode 4.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he just gets like really close.
Which episode was episode 4?
The swimming episode.
The swimming one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Swimming in the sea of love.
Goodness, but when he just beats the shit out of that guy, it was satisfying. Like, I almost came at that.
Yeah,
because it was just a one punch moment, and it was just.
I thought it really spoke to his kind of like pure heartedness that when our lovely maiden of that episode walked in on them and they were discussing like, oh, Kogure, you're such a bad guy, you're trying to manipulate our young maiden, and you have ulterior motives, and you're trying to take advantage of this family and steal from them. And rather than hurt our lovely maiden and kind of hurt her feelings, he just jumps for Kogure's girlfriend and is like, grabs her and is like, hey, this is my girlfriend, and we're talking with your boyfriend, and like, how about you like, introduce yourself to my girlfriend here. I bet you didn't know I had this lovely girlfriend, and this is totally what you think it is. There's nothing going on behind your back, and he tries to protect her feelings, and but she had already overheard the whole conversation, so wasn't really much feeling left to protect. But I did think it was interesting that he placed her emotional well-being over, I don't know, like a practical responsibility to tell this person the truth, because he assumed on his own that he could just resolve the situation without her really knowing about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is really a really defining moment of his character. And this episode, it does kind of subvert that whole formula from maybe the rest of the shows, because he doesn't really the noodle storyline is just the setup for the actual this relationship with this girl. So it's not about Kentaro becoming good at noodles. It's about him trying to really help out this girl. And again, it's really good. I mean, like, I really liked it. And then over the course of only 25 minutes, I really felt for the girl's emotional plight.
Yeah.
And I really liked Kentaro so much more just over a 25-minute episode. Some characters have had 24 episodes to make themselves likable and utterly failed. But over the course of 3 episodes, I'm already like, I'd die for Kentaro.
Yeah.
Take a bullet for him. Couple bullets.
Oh yeah, I would hang out with Kentaro.
Yeah.
Cosplay goals 2021.
But he's literally the embodiment of you, Geoff. The biker boy.
Hey, well, it makes me think of, well, I say, so I owned a road bike, or the one that my dad had given me just recently. It's an old road bike, and I used to ride that to work every day. And I would literally play the theme song to this fucking show while I was getting ready to leave the house.
You would play
Cool.
that.
Holy shit.
Very cool.
Very nice.
And this is when I had tape deck. It was easier to record, opening and closing theme songs just on your tape player, and you'd have them for the whole day. You can of course you can't skip through, but you can rewind and fast forward.
Yeah.
But that was like my ritual leaving. I would like pretend I would put my biking gloves on, and which I did have because I used to ride BMX, and he's wearing a BMX shirt in this episode, I think, or the next one.
I think it was,
or later on. I can't remember. But yeah,
You would. I saw that opening sequence the first episode, and I was like, okay, I see Jeffrey. I see him.
Yeah, the opening sequence is kind of interesting because the opening chords on the guitar, in the way Kentaro's kind of scowling on the camera, makes it look so serious. It like feels serious, and then when the horns come in, it like seriousness drops down to nothing, and it feels so much more like fun and carefree and whatnot.
It's kind of cheesy and like a porn way, like a porn song. It's upbeat, but it's got the bump the bump.
Yeah.
I don't know bump.
I think I must just be watching a different kind of porn.
They don't have any of that in my piss flicks.
Yeah.
get that all boom.
Well, that has something to be said about his expressions changing, right? The expressions on his face, from serious to silly. Like there's a million of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't feel like they animate things like that anymore with like such detail.
Yeah, I agree. And it's
either like chibi or like regular.
There was something I noticed in this episode 3, where he's making noodles by hand, and it's just like a quick scene where he raises his head up to announce noodles are done, and there's one frame I noticed where they like greatly detailed his teeth. I'm thinking now that might have been like a keyframe, and there was like the in-betweens.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, wow, there was no need for that.
I can't fucking deal with the teeth in Golden Boy. Everybody's got like super canines.
Yeah.
Every time they open their mouth, I was visibly uncomfortable in ways that Kiss X Sis could not manage to do, just because the teeth just were, they're like a tiger's. I did not like the teeth at all.
Well, as we talk about the face animation, that is really what gave me the feeling of Great Teacher Onizuka, because GTO also revolves a lot around all the different facial expressions of Onizuka. In the same way, we got the full spectrum of faces and emotions out of Kentaro here. Yeah, it seemed very similar to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, Amelia. They really don't do this anymore. I don't know why anime style has moved away from that direction, but I also cannot think of a recent anime where so much emphasis was placed on this broad spectrum of facial expressions. I mean, arguably, I think maybe One Piece leans in that direction, but it's applied totally differently in One Piece.
I think it's because this is an OVA, so they had a lot more time to put into each episode. Versus like a 12 episode or 24 episode series. But also, I think that because of certain scenes where they could just go so simplified just because of the style of the source material, that they could like hammer out a few scenes just real quickly and then take all that extra time to focus into the really detailed stuff.
And I guess this is kind of something I wanted to mention earlier. Since this is based off a manga, anytime I see something that's really good, I go to the manga. I gravitate to the manga to get more of it. And as Geoff was saying, it is the manga's formula a little bit different. And I read maybe the first 4 or so chapters, and just from those chapters, I had this experience where it was just, man, the anime is so much better than this. And I don't know if that's like, I've never, there's only a handful of experiences where I can say that this is definitively way better than the actual original source material.
Yeah, I thought the manga was super confusing.
Yeah, and the art style was not really that appealing to me at all. Like, the characters don't look as visually appealing, and I don't know if that was just me personally, but I this is one of those things where I loved the source material so much, or not the source material, but the adaptation, but I just can't go to the source material, even though I want to see more of Kentaro. And yeah.
Yeah, I guess we have Toshihiro Kawamoto to thank for that. And he did the character designs for Bebop. And along with Stardust Memories. Ooh. You just watched that, Dan, right?
Yes.
Not too long ago.
Yes. Man, don't even get me started on
boy. All right. Yeah, so he
quick, change the subject.
Yeah, no, that's just like, it's very solid the whole way through. It's just consistent. Whereas the manga, I think that's kind of a normal thing with manga, is the character models don't always stay on model, or just, they change sporadically. And there's not a whole bunch of backgrounds to go with the characters. They're just kind of floating in a way. Not always, but just a couple of scenes where there's inner monologue and there's not really anything in the background, but in the anime, they went in and animated a desert because I don't know, like, just as an example, and it just really adds to the depth of the show, I think.
And I hear the manga becomes very pornographic after they get done, like with the anime content. Like, that's what I've heard, at least from other podcasts.
I jumped ahead.
Anybody read it?
I jumped ahead a little bit to see if that was true.
Was it true?
Give me them facts.
I need to know.
It's very, very pornographic.
Because I will go and read that.
Were you getting just a little aroused with it?
Just a little bit.
All right, so where's the manga?
It's on the internet.
Let's all pause.
Brad's staring at the screen, ready to start Google searching. All right, where do I find this?
Golden Boy, read free now.
You just see Golden Boy in my reflection of
it's almost a spread. It's almost more like a doujinshi. They just like take the same characters and they're like, let's have a big orgy with all the characters.
Really?
Is this?
Yeah.
Is this? Guys, this has been the Otaku Host Club Podcast. I'm bowing out right now to go read some manga.
Yeah, it's been scanlated. Yeah. But I feel like for a lot of the shots are pretty close. Like there's a lot of match shots from the panels into the anime. I did one episode, like, try to go from panel to panel, and they're pretty close. But like I said, they just really go into much more detail with backgrounds and such. And the one with the desert is coming up next, where he goes to the swim club to race Ayuko, the gold Olympic winner.
Oh my! They're having sex in front of him.
Which one are you on?
I was just quickly skimming the first chapter that popped up on my Google, and she was just like, "I'm gonna have sex in front of you. You got to watch and not lay a finger." And he was just sitting there, and I was like, "This is a crappy doujin."
Wow.
Yep.
There's a chapter called Wet Training Camp. I want to know what that is.
So did they not animate this stuff because it was too pornographic? Or
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why.
interesting.
No substance.
Yeah.
Since when has that
No
ever
plot.
stopped in animation?
No plot, just kids.
And it's almost like he saw the anime adaptation and says like, I'm gonna fuck this up real good.
There's like maybe the 7th chapter or volume, and he goes to a university and he starts working there, and he gets involved with the teacher, right?
Mhm.
And she's teaching about the effects of drugs and the with how withdrawal affects the human body.
Oh.
And he does a study. He goes to her house, and they introduce sex, and he loves it so much that he needs it all the time. He becomes dependent on it. And they do all kinds of weird shit. And they, at the end of the episode, or rather the end of the manga, she writes a dissertation or some kind of essay, and he beats her to the punch. He writes his own essay about the effects of what they call the sweet life drug. And it's just like this whole narrative that I think like this particular story could be an episode of the and could be adapted if they wanted to add more episodes in the future. But I think it would have to be an OVA because of the level of detail, like Brad was saying.
Oh my god, I just got quoted. Is that what that's like?
I need to go away from this. I'm actually reading it and I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm trying to put pictures in the chat and it won't work.
Yeah, it's weird. You can't copy and paste. It's stupid.
Fine, I'll put it in the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
4th episode.
yeah, episode 4 is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
And,
I think that one was my favorite.
And he gets captured by this lady who has like the wild look in her eye. And yeah, I guess we've all had that at some point in our lives. Like, ooh, want that primalness? Yes, please. So he quote unquote stalks her until he gets to the pool and it's like, what are you doing here? I'm here for a job. Yeah. And one thing leads to another, and he finds out that he has challenged a gold medal Olympic swimmer to a swim race, and he only has 1 month to learn how to swim.
Yeah, I did think that was pretty funny when they were like kind of testing him out for employment, and he was swimming and he was just kind of thrashing around in the water like real awkwardly and looked like a fucking idiot. And then after he was done, he got that big serious look on his face and was like, "How did I do? Wasn't that great?"
That was the point. I liked the show before, but that moment made me fall in love with it.
Yeah.
The wild beast within you has awakened the wild beast in me.
It was, so I don't think he actually beats this lovely maiden, right? Like he doesn't actually beat her.
He doesn't beat her, but he definitely sucks the water out of her vagina.
I know. That's like, that was so fucking funny. They're like, and it's not exactly their actual competition, but she's just like impressed that he's working hard and jumps in the water and is like, oh, if you can keep up with me right now, then maybe you'll have a shot. And she's like not trying all the way, right? But there's
I
like
use
50%
of my power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he is just like swimming immediately behind her and just staring right at her, right at her vagina underwater, and is like, "It's right there," and swimming faster, and then just like head on collides right into her crotch as they're swimming. It was like, that was really funny. That's some good shit.
She doesn't even get pissed at that part. It's the fact that he has a giant erection that's popping out of his swim trunks. That's
what's up with that, dude? Like, why wouldn't he have an erection?
I mean,
And why would you be mad at that?
I mean, he has got, scientifically speaking, I went to my top men on this, and he said, Kentaro's got an okay, good-sized dick. He said it's probably mostly head, but that's not bad. So, I mean, he's packing. He's good. He's likable all around, from his head to his dick to his toenails, I guess. I don't know. I'm looking at this image that was posted in the chat as well. And yeah. But no, he's I mean, like, he's got a good dick. He's got a good dick. That's solid dick.
I get why everybody wants him.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he's got a nice body too, like Kentaro does.
Yeah, when he was lining up on the platform to go dive in, he had some fucking abs. Like,
yeah,
he's packing.
Yeah,
he's a good looking boy.
Don't all of us just walk around with boners sometimes? Yeah.
I mean, that's
Amelia?
what I thought penises were.
Is that true?
I thought so. Like, that's not what happened.
Yeah, I read some statistic in high school that like 60 or 70% of the time people don't notice if you're just walking around with a boner. I really took that to heart. I can't remember where exactly I read that, but I don't tend to get so stressed out if I'm walking around with a big boner. It's like, this shit happens.
I'm glad I don't have any apparatus that like lets you know if I'm horny. Like, I'm
just put your hands in your pocket so you're kind of extending your pants out a little bit, and you know, you're good.
I mean, like, there's a certain comfort in just having a random boner. You're just like, what do you see, boy? What's going on?
exactly.
Where's the stimulus coming from? And it's just kind of nice to just sit there and go, well, here we are. And that's what I kind of got when I was like, man, Kentaro's just a good looking man with his ponytail.
Though there also is the unfortunate, like, when you pop a boner and it's like, it's not perfectly situated. So like, oh, hold on, whoa, stop. Let me.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like when
that is irritating.
When it's
I know what you mean too.
Yeah, like when it's going the wrong way and it's just kind of, I hate it.
I never really thought about it until it happened, but yeah, it does have to lean one way or the other. Like, it has a preferential lean.
Yeah, to the right.
Okay, so
it was my understanding you tuck it in your belt.
The waistband method.
Yeah, I used to do that when I was younger, but not anymore.
Seems painful.
Gotcha. That's like the beginner.
Is that like actually real? You guys actually do that?
Well, I definitely did at various points in my life, but also it like stops working so well because eventually your boner goes back down, and then you're just like stuck in this,
gravity
positioning down there. Yeah. Like when it's when it's full on, it makes sense, right? Like you're like attaching it in a way that is, it's parallel to your body, so it doesn't jut out at all, right? Yeah. But then when it goes back down, it's still like tied close to your body, but then it's shrinking down, and it's just like, just kind of weird.
But don't you then just expose it to friction from your t-shirt if it's poking up?
Penis burn.
Yeah. And that's like on the underside of the head too. That's the worst, isn't it?
Maybe I'm not. My penis does not come in contact with my shirt.
All right, episode 5, balls to the wall.
We didn't talk about his swimming teaching. He's really great at swimming teaching.
Yes, that's not important.
Let's talk about how he works with kids.
He's just like, just go under the water, and when the bubbles stop, that's when you're good.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised with how ruthless they taught those kids.
Yeah,
on the one hand, I get that. That makes sense. But on the other hand, that kid is like mortified, doesn't want to stick his head underwater. And the teacher's just like grabs him by the head and shoves him underwater. It's like, yeah, you're going to be fine. Well, damn.
Won't the kid like, learn to hate the water? Well, that's fine. If they don't want to learn, they can just quit.
Says the Olympic winner.
Yeah.
But instead, Kentaro implements rings, right?
Yeah.
Little,
toys.
colorful
Makes it into a
toys. He wins again. He's a bit patronizing, isn't he?
Slightly.
I mean, I'm also curious, like, what the notes he took on the teaching kids thing was, because he always takes notes with whatever he's doing. And just what did he have to take about the kids? Kids don't like water.
Yeah, I was surprised by the amount of puking and shitting in the water. Because
Yeah.
every time they puke, like every time somebody does that in the pool, you got to take all the pool water out,
Yeah.
and clean
Oh,
down
wow.
the pool and refill the water. Yeah. So
Yeah, you're like not supposed to clean up vomit.
yeah.
There's supposed to be like a hazmat team that comes in and cleans it.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, dude, if kids are doing that like every day, like that's such a huge waste of resources and like time and cost and whatnot. Like, yeah, this is nuts.
That's a huge pool too. It's like an Olympic
Yeah,
size,
yeah.
Yeah, and I think they just keep swimming in it.
Wow.
Yeah, they
Sounds
do.
like-
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a break from reality because in real life, if a little kid pukes in the pool, there's no fucking way people are still swimming in it. Like the show clearly doesn't seem to mind that, they're, that these people just vomited in the pool. They're just like, well, we'll just like use a net to scoop up the chunky vomit and we're good.
Just use the bucket method.
Yeah.
I think this show's least concern is breaking reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like considering how a bicycle can win a race against a competition league motorcycle.
He was going
Yeah,
full
that's
on
true.
Tony Hawk on those power lines.
Yeah. That takes us right into episode 6, huh? Or episode 5, I mean. Sorry.
Yeah.
Episode 5.
Yep. Bima, baby.
That was a shocker to me. Like, wow, is this really happening? Like, ma'am, are you okay?
She was my favorite ma'am, though.
Yeah.
Same.
Same.
Episode,
Out of all of them.
yeah, she's my favorite as well. Episode 5 is my favorite episode. I
Yeah.
love episode 5. I was legitimately standing up during the race because I couldn't handle it.
It's like some Karate Kid shit going on with the sun setting behind him on the power lines.
Mm.
Yeah, you got the Porsche. There's always sports. There's always a nice sports car in each episode. And I'm confused though. So this place that he's at, the Daikokus, is this like a wellness place? Like what exactly is this place? It's huge property.
I think it's just a rich person's mansion.
It's just a mansion.
so.
That's how I took it.
And he's there studying. He's like an apprentice of well-being.
I think he a butler apprentice?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's what I thought, at least.
These details aren't important, are they? No.
We just need a girl on a bike getting off.
Yes.
Yeah, the way she was, masturbating with the motorcycle. I was like, ooh, my goodness.
Kind of hot, especially with that skin tight leather motorcycle suit.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I wanted in Bakuan, but did not get.
Have you guys ever been on a motorcycle?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Nope.
No. Are they fun? I want to.
Are they orgasmic? Is it
Do
an
they make you
orgasmic
come?
experience?
I mean, like, I came while I was, but I thought that was just how it worked,
Yeah.
My only motor, I was not exactly on a motorcycle, but I was on like a motorbike of sorts in India, and I was like riding second seat to another guy, and it was absolutely fucking terrifying. I thought we were gonna fucking die because of the way, like, I mean, India in general is like such a chaotic place, and this guy is just like, India. I mean, he's a local, so he knows what he's doing, which means he drives like a fucking maniac and is like narrowly averting death every 3 seconds. And
They
I'm
don't
like,
care. They can reincarnate.
Oh my. Hmm.
Yeah, it was not orgasmic. It was just scary.
Well, this is like a sports bike. Well, they call them crotch rockets back in the day.
Is that why
Oh,
they call
crotch
them?
My
rockets.
grandparents called them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad had some crotch rockets.
Did he really?
Yeah, actually, my dad had lots of motorcycles. He actually
What?
broke like both of his knees riding into a tree once
Wow.
on a
Damn.
motorcycle.
I just
Because like anyway.
I just picture your dad riding like a Harley Davidson, like
No.
old school.
He would get like whatever he could
Mm.
find for the cheapest he could find. But all of my family's been into like motorcycles and race cars and shit like that. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
This is not an Initial D episode, but it's probably the closest.
Yes.
Yeah. The amount of animation that they had when Kintaro was like angling down to take those hairpin turns, it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Woo, look at that crisp animation. Like seeing all the bits shave off from his shoes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The whole race was just engaging. It's like, and it's Kintaro's going to win, but you have no idea how. So you're like wondering what kind of shenanigans are going to have to happen for him to win. And
Yeah.
boy, are they some shenanigans.
His grappling hook, I was in awe. And when he was going through the pylon, I was just it was quispy. It was an absolute joy to watch. Like it was I don't think I've ever been as invested in a race before to where I stood up and I was like, I know he's gonna win, but how?
Yeah.
And especially his bridge jump. As
That's
he went
hilarious.
down, study.
It just slowly disappears off the edge. And so ends the tale of Kintaro Oe.
Yeah, because there's a moment where you think, all right, he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
He's gonna make it, and then
Yeah.
like 3 seconds later, just dives into the trees. And his bike makes it through it as well. It's in one piece.
Yeah, I'm impressed that he just like the episode ends with him still biking into the distance.
The episode
Like,
ends with the same monologue of this is Kintaro Oe. He dropped out of Tokyo University Department of Law willingly. He continues to bike to this day because his brakes are broken. Which is nice because they set that up halfway through the episode where he's just camping out in front of the rich house. And it's like,
Oh yeah,
I should
that's
get new
right.
brakes soon.
Yeah.
That's right. They do.
Yeah.
This show is just brilliant, I gotta say. Like, it's for an ecchi that doesn't really like give you much snuff material to work with, and it does give you a lot like background story material. Like a lot of the good porn videos have story to go with it to get you invested with it. And Matt, stop looking at me like that.
I agree with you, Brad. I agree. Because it's not well, you know, I'm more interested in the narrative and the emotion of people and their, you know, sex lives more so than like the actual physicality of it.
Yeah. Like self-insert porn is good and all, but sometimes if you see something with some like good characters, it can add a bit more than just physical primal investment, you know? Although that can work too well sometimes. I remember this one like re-uploaded video on Pornhub from like an old VHS series. I cannot remember the name of it, but the story was so surprisingly engaging that I just like stopped and I was just watching it for the plot. It's like I'm not even fapping to this. This is just good.
Yeah, do you guys remember that porn movie Pirates?
No.
This was the largest budget porn ever made, and it was about pirates and they battle like CGI zombie skeletons that are like chasing them down on the seven seas. And it's like a full blown pirate adventure movie, but with, you know, like gratuitous porn sex scenes interspersed throughout this whole thing. And it is like very uncomfortably rides like why exactly are you trying to tell this big story with like special effects and CGI and like all this stuff when it's just like this is just a porn video, So anyway, this movie is always, it sticks out in my mind. I definitely watched it when I was on tour, like with a group of people. We were all watching it together and like laughing at the absurdity of it, because like obviously the acting and the CGI and like all this stuff is just absolutely horrendous, right? It's like a terrible watch, which is what makes it so funny and enjoyable. So we all watched it together and kind of marveled at like, why was so much money sunk into this project,
Yeah. The one, I found the name of it. The one I was talking about is called Taboo American Style. And has a part 1 on Pornhub that is 66 minutes long. So, set a day aside, I guess.
Is this the next review?
Oh my god. I can't take you anywhere, Brad.
We're going to take it to the next level after this episode. Episode 6.
I wanted to watch a Project ACO. That's the one I wanted.
Oh yeah. Did you guys look into that one?
Okay, so here was how the science went for our decision to watch this. It was, how long are these?
Yeah.
One of them was like, what was it, 50 or so episodes?
Yeah.
And Brad was like, not just no, but hell no. I can't do that.
Which one was that?
Let's see, what were the 3 we had to pick from? It was this, Project ACO, and one other.
Was it Cream Lemon?
There was one that was longer, and it was, Brad and I were just like, because Brad over there still can't do seasonal, so.
Yeah. Oh, it was Project ACO. I was looking, I was like, this might be something. But then literally every scene was a penny shot, and it was giving me a headache. So I'm like, let's go with Golden Boy. I've heard good things about it.
There's nothing redeemable about Project Ica. But
well, I mean, I think like of all of these, this was probably the best choice because it was just actually really, really good.
Yeah, and episode 6 like brings it all together and like ties a nice bow on it.
That was my favorite one.
Like it's focused on the anime team, which I feel like go figure, anime talking about anime. And
it was really cool how they used actual photos of their own desks to exemplify how these animation desks got so messy and out of control.
Like I was looking at them, leaning in, I was like, is that a real photo? I just imagine like what's a good Japanese name? Abe. We're gonna take a picture of your messy ass desk for you. We're gonna use in this show.
With a hamburger on the desk with grease coming out of it, and it's like, sliming across onto your paperwork.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
And then Kotaro decides to clean it up, and just totally fucks this guy's desk up because he can't find anything. Don't you hate that when people do that to your stuff?
Yes.
It drives me nuts.
I mean, shit, my desk's a mess and I still can't find anything. I made the mess.
Yeah, this is the talking to video episode, or I guess it would be a good comparison, right?
Yeah.
This is how I learned about how the industry works personally. It was this and a talking to video, and I guess there was another show, Animation Runner, Kuromi.
Yeah, that's on my list of things to watch.
All my information about the animation industry came from Shirobako. So.
Oh, that's also on my list of things to watch.
Same.
It's good. But this, I actually, Shirobako takes place during the digital age. So this was actually kind of really nuanced, really interesting for me to see the actual cells at work.
Yeah.
To see that, because that's something I don't have experience. Like I've seen bits of Otaku no Video, but I haven't finished it.
Yeah, I actually learned something about how cells actually get painted.
Yeah, like I did not know about the the having to pop the bubbles out, which was really interesting.
Seems like a pain in the ass to do, though. Like just painting and getting the bubbles out.
Yeah, I was reading an article, an ANN article today, and it was about the wages in Japan, about how much in-betweeners make. And it's absurd, like how much they make in US dollars.
How much?
They're making about 11,000 on average a year.
Oh,
yeah. Where key animators are making a lot more. They're making like 40,000, I think. But I think there's a push, maybe a grassroots push to have some sort of legal framework to make it a viable career, because you don't want to because they're basically taking advantage of these people. And back in the day, of course they would sleep under their desk and pull all-nighters, but they were at least getting decent wages from it.
Yeah.
And I want to clarify a little bit on their wages. It was always my understanding they get paid by the frame.
It is,
right. It's not. Mm-hmm. It's not that they get paid, and that's the way that these fucking capitalist pigs justify this shit, right? That it's not that they're getting paid $11,000 a year. It's that they're getting paid X amount of money per frame, and if they wanted to make more, they would just make more frames. And it's really about, you can make as much money as you want. You just have to keep churning out the frames because we pay you per frame. But how much time and energy does it actually take to make one of these frames? These can be somewhat complex drawings, and it requires actual, time and attention to churn these things out. So there's a limit to just how many frames one person can make. And I think that's the big difference with Kyoto Animation, right? That they're one of the few places that doesn't put their animators, or at least it's my impression that they are one of the few places that does not put their animators through such a rigmarole, but pays people a more normal, monthly and yearly wage, regardless of, how many frames they actually put out and whatnot.
They are the Whole Foods of animation studios.
Yes.
Well, damn, Dan, not only can we talk about Gundam, but we can talk about our Marxist revolution ideas.
Yes.
That always shuts me down when I talk about the capitalist overlords.
It's because you go on for 5 hours, and I'm like, yep. I feel I am oppressed. I'm very aware. Stop reminding me. I'm being a slave to big corporations.
What do you do for work, Matt?
Nothing. I just quit my job.
Oh, word. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Welcome to a life of freedom. But if you quit your job, then you're not on unemployment then, right?
Yeah.
That's too bad. A miscalculation.
Well, it was if we're going on to our anti-capitalist propaganda, it was the height of we only want to make money and fuck you, fuck everybody who is underneath, on the corporate levels. And it was just, I can't do this. I am watching. It wasn't even me who was struggling. It was watching my friends in the company be forced to take more and more work because they didn't want to open up the positions required for us to function on a rational level. And so it was eventually just, I can't work for some place where people are doing 14-hour shifts 7 days a week. So just in mild form of protest, I had to go. And it was shit.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
The painter.
So, yeah. And Golden Boy made me forget about these problems. Thank you, Golden Boy. I think episode 6's girl is probably my actual favorite. Aoi.
Chie.
Is it Chie? Why not call her Aoi? Yeah. She's really cute. I really like my anime girls to wear work aprons. It's really steamy for me.
Yeah, I liked her collared shirt. I always think a collared shirt looks really good.
Yeah,
I do not wear collared shirts myself, so I'm not following my own advice. But collared shirts are a good look.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely. She's really cute, just really, really adorable. The personally, I get a big raging boner when this kind of thing happens, when the last episode of the series plays off to everything else that's happened.
Yeah.
And so all the girls coming back to help him was really doing it for me, especially because I was like, oh, this girl's going to come in and help with this. And then, oh, this girl's going to, biker BMO girl's going to go deliver the cells and such.
Yeah.
And so it was a nice little play to see it all culminate like that. And,
yeah, it brings up how, like, oh, you need some CG work done? I have some friends in CG. And I'm like, oh, is this going to tie into the computer company? And it does. And then, like, Noriko comes in to give fresh handmade noodles to the crew. What's her name from episode 2? And her friend comes in to do some voice work because the original voice actors like canceled. And as the BMO girl gets the cells over to like the animations, wherever they need to go, and Swim Girl displays some reference video for an animation bit.
Yeah, he's a package.
And they all come to the premiere, and the premiere gets done, and everyone likes it. And then Kentaro's disappeared. Like, what? He's gone? Fucking get him! Before he leaves.
Yeah, all the girls chase after him together.
Yeah,
it's very heartwarming, in my opinion.
It is.
I mean, I chase after Kentaro. Mm-hmm.
It makes it all feel like it was planned from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching like, is this anime in its purest form?
Pure anime.
Did you guys notice that they specified it was so when the animation studio is making this movie and they have the original manga source material and they have the manga author come in to the studio and he's like talking with the director and vibing with everybody, they specify that he's like the richest man in the world or something like that.
What?
Did you guys catch that too?
And the thing about it was that felt like a huge piece of masturbation because it is the mangaka of Golden Boy who's doing the voice and is the character.
Yeah, they were like, he's the richest, most handsome man.
Very successful. And he's just...
That's like Nobishin in Excel Saga. You know, the big afro, and he makes an appearance in his own show. I guess but would he be wealthy though? I mean, maybe Hayao Miyazaki's wealthy, but I just can't picture like just some average, quote unquote, average mangaka being wealthy.
I think he might have just been embellishing a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
the character Tatsuya Engawa, played in Japanese by Tatsuya Igawa.
That really changes everything for me. I'm going to go rewatch it.
It changes the entire... It's layers on layers to interpret. I just honestly, the moment I found that out, I was like, look at this motherfucker, thinking he's like the Chad of the manga industry with his like pullover wrapped around his I was just
I love when he's talking with the director and he's like, make this scene really sexy, and the director's like, hell yeah, man, we're gonna make it so sexy.
Yeah,
and the ending animation is just a monster doing odd things like swimming.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that about? I don't know.
And this is such a little thing, but I was disappointed by the ending animation, and as they were watching the end product movie, it made me think of Aizoken.
Yes.
And animation, the produced animation in Aizoken was like so well crafted and like really differentiated from the show itself, and it was like really expressive. And I felt like the end product movie in Golden Boy was as you say, like just some random bits and pieces that was not particularly entertaining or enjoyable, but minor quip with an otherwise amazing show.
I feel like there was something in the episode that explains like they had to move on from this project to another one, or a deadline got moved up. but it was happened so quick that I forgot about it.
Yeah. I mean, all these episodes are moving at like there is no downtime, which I think makes it really enjoyable because it's just go, 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 go. You'll get it. You'll understand. You got a brain. You know what's happening.
Study.
Study. So like, what was everybody's favorite episode?
Just about to ask. It's very important.
I'm sorry to steal your thunder. You can.
God damn it.
You can ask.
Matt. No, I'm just kidding.
So for me, it's. I think I would give it to episode 6 because it was truly heartwarming to watch all the rest of the characters from the show roll up and help Kintaro and the animation studio in a jam. And I really liked just watching the animation studio and all these people, sleeping at the studio and eating crappy convenience store food and kind of their resolve and dedication to get the stuff done. And you could see, like, as the episode goes on, the staff of the animation studio are drawn more and more disheveled, and their skin tone gets more and more pale and kind of sickly looking and whatnot. Yeah. You can feel the tension as they work so hard to get this done. I thought that was really endearing. But also, number 1 is really close because of the spitting scene. And that spitting scene is just it's pure bliss on a television screen. I'm ready to do it. Like, the next time I see somebody attractive spitting in my life, fucking diving right in there. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, I liked the last episode because I do like anime that shows me how anime is made. But I think the 5th episode was my favorite. I like the biker girl. She's badass. I want to be her.
I'm in agreement with you, Amelia.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall.
Fucking balls to the wall, baby. I don't know.
I think the comedy in that one is just like it just hits in a certain way where the payoff at the end is, I don't know, is like the punchline is at the end. It's like a episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. It kind of is.
You know?
Brad, what was your favorite episode?
I have to say episode 1 just because it was aesthetic as fuck. Like it was peak 90s anime. The music, the early computer programming that they did, the outfits that all the ladies wore. It was like it's like the background you would see in like lo-fi hip hop songs to watch Golden Boy to. And it's just like, this is my style. I want more of this, please.
Yeah, and when we talk about the outfits that the women were wearing at the office, do you think it could be... I mean, do we think there's an angle of progressiveness here that because this anime was made in 1996, right? And I mean, somebody can correct me on that if that's not true. But we have a computer programming office that is entirely women, is run, with women in charge in a field of work that at that time was pretty male dominated, wasn't it? Yeah. So that's kind of an interesting dynamic to it. But I say that as someone that clearly was not involved in computer programming in the 90s. So maybe there were actually lots of, certainly there were very talented women programmers at the time. It was women that sent people to the moon with computer programming, right? But
yeah,
I'm just kind of assuming. Yeah, I'm just kind of assuming that was a male-dominated field at that time.
I mean, hentai is inherently progressive. I mean, because everything has to happen for the sake of the plot to be able to get that peen and that fagoo. You gotta have. If you need like a crew of female computer programmers, you do it. You don't care about the politics or the gender roles associated. If you need a guy to be subservient in a Amazon tribe society, then that's going to happen. So, yeah,
that's true.
Through one way or another, porn is all about women empowerment.
There might be a couple women who might disagree.
Do you agree, Matt?
My God.
Yeah, Matt's burying his head.
Matt left the chat.
I don't know, like, you're talking about this, and I'm like, how can I salvage? Why? I feel like I have to be your interpreter sometimes when you say shit, because I'm like, this is what he means. He is not saying that, because that's not true. I feel like I have to be your fact checker, and the entire time you're talking, I'm like, what the fuck is he saying? Oh my fucking God.
I'll just pull a Charles. You're just like, no, actually, he means this, and I'm like, no, I meant what I said.
Yeah, say what you mean, Brad. Just let it all out.
Yeah, let it say what you want to say.
Let your freak flag fly.
I mean, like, I'm proud of you, my guy. You got your passion, and you're all about it. I mean,
what was your favorite episode, Matt?
Episode 5, and
okay.
I really liked the girl, and I really liked the actual race at the end had me hooked and engaged, and she looks good in a kimono, and in her biker suit, and her that scene where she walks in on him just like washing the toilet and getting all caressing it, where she just opens the door and closes it, had me in the kind of laughter where somebody came in to check on me because I was actually physically doubling over, and this was all. It was I episode 5, and BMO girl is definitely, she's solid number 2. I just love animation girl so much. She's so cute and so adorable, and she just episode 5 and episode 1 for sure is a solid number 2.
Yeah,
it's just so engaging, so funny, and that whole spit scene. I'm pretty sure that our Discord server is going to be nothing but Kentaro's face for emotes, because he's just so expressive, and there's so much you can take from just that episode alone.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the show. Like,
this show is anime profile pick the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Who do you think he would end up with? Like, realistically, of all the characters, who would Kentaro match up with?
His bike.
Crescent Moon.
Yeah.
BMO?
Probably. I don't know.
No, I feel like the Noodle Girl, they had like a little bit more of a connection because he tried to stop that bad guy from dating her.
Yeah.
I think so too. I was thinking about when I was watching it. I'm like, I think Nori and him have some kind of compatibility.
Yeah.
But we don't know his dark side. Maybe Kentaro is much darker. If you read the manga, you might find out.
I'm getting on it.
It's bookmarked.
I don't know. I don't know if I think Nori is the one, but I do think that's a good argument. And I'm thinking of, Kentaro probably, seems to like all of these different lovely maidens, but how many of the lovely maidens are really like reciprocating, not just, reciprocating on an emotional level? Mm-hmm. And Nori brings the flowers to him and is kind of like clearly wants to move their relationship in a more romantic direction. And Kentaro just kind of shuts it down. Right. But still, I think she is the one that shows the most clear-cut attraction and movement in their relationship out of all the different maidens.
I personally, like, if we're talking about who he's most likely to end up with and stay together with, my personal belief is probably episode 6 girl, just because although her relationship with him isn't really expressed too much, the amount of devotion she just shows by not chasing him and just knowing that he'll come back, I think is really cute. I really adore that sentimentality. And plus the amount of passion he shows when he's just like, you've taught me how great animation is. I feel like I want to just believe that the happily ever after is them watching like anime together and That's what I want to think. Obviously, Nori is way more. Her affections are way more real. I feel grounded. Like she's obviously way more into him than any other girl, and honestly, because she's not exactly attracted to him, and I guess on a physical level, but just on a pure emotional level for all the things he's done. So I feel like that's obviously the most stable choice, and they probably would have a happy little life together. But I'm gonna say episode 6 girl, because I love that sentimentality.
As you say it like that, I think I also think that Nori's the one.
Yeah,
and because he's already met her family, they like all get along.
Yeah,
that is a I'm thinking of all the other women, and it's like episode 2 girl is too young. Like by the time she comes of age, she's probably moving on. The swimming woman, like I feel like the swimming woman and the computer programming woman like clearly appreciate Kentaro, but they aren't like, it's not obvious to me that they really want to like be romantically entangled with this person. They just like, think that, they just want this person in their lives, or like want them to work at their business. But yeah, Nori seems really like, engaged in pursuing him, and I think Nori is the best answer. I agree with you guys, Amelia and Geoff.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah, I think he would one night the computer programmer lady though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's down to clown with her.
I think he would one night.
For like one night.
Yeah, I think he would one night any of these people. But I mean, I say that, but on the other hand, that is clearly not true, because he is like always offered. I guess he's like implicitly offered chances to hook up with these women at various points, and he never ever does it.
Yeah.
So.
Amelia, you made that distinction between women and girls, and I think that's sort of like a stylistic thing back in the 80s and 90s versus currently.
Well, I feel like 80s and 90s women, like generally, like when you look back at pictures of them, they generally have a more like woman vibe, whereas like I feel like girls now look incredibly young for their age.
Yeah.
So, and especially in anime.
Yeah, just the designs in the show, they looked like, even episode 2 girl looked like a woman.
Yeah.
Like, not like
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to...
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I think you all should go ahead first.
Okay, let's just all talk at once then.
Yeah, so...
I did not give you go ahead. Geoff has go ahead.
I was going to say she looked like Asuka. That's all I want to say.
Oh, that's all he wanted to say. That's all he wanted to say.
You are right, my guy. Now that I've seen, now I was the entire time I was looking at her and I was just like, she reminds me of somebody. And now, yeah, it's all coming together.
But would you actually hang out with Asuka in real life? I mean,
no.
disregarding the age difference, just based on personality, I would not want to hang out with this person.
Probably not immediately. Like her
in theory, I would want to, but like I don't think if in real life she was a real person, I would want to. I'd be like, dude, why are you so mean? Like, get
her
out of
Soon
here.
is way too powerful to make the dairy worth it.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, like the only like Misato is mine.
Yes, mm-hmm. yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay. Since you brought up Asuka, I do want to note something I noticed. Tiffany Grant did the voices for 2 of the women in the show, though not episode 2 girl. She did a voice of Kogure's girlfriend and Madam President from episode 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go and watch the dub now.
I honestly, I'm surprised I didn't watch the dub, but I mean, like, no offense to Golden Boy, and this is probably like my weird sort of profiling on anime, but I looked at it and I was like, this is going to have one of those dubs that I cringe at, but apparently everybody really likes it. So once again, I look the fool.
I
like
also
slightly
watched.
cringy though.
I also watched it in Japanese.
Mm.
I didn't watch the dub either.
Yeah.
I'm not apt to watch the dub unless somebody specifically tells me that you should watch the dub.
Dan, watch the dub.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
I'll
Dan.
go rewatch this real quick.
Watch the dub.
Okay, cool. Go watch the dub. Kintaro Oe. That's the
it,
dub.
basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm watching Planetes in English dub right now,
Nice.
which is one of my is a top 10 show for me. It's a very important show in my life, and one that I have a lot of emotional attachment to, but I've never actually watched in English. But a friend of mine was watching it, couldn't find it streaming, but it's uploaded on YouTube with the English dub. So I was like, I'll watch it on YouTube with you and see what I think of this
Is
English
it
dub.
Uploaded
three-parter?
legally or what?
It is not uploaded legally.
Oh, because
And
get that
it's-
shit while you can.
Yeah, and it is written as English dabbing, which I think is cool. But it does. So the reason I bring this up is that it has changed the way I think about dubs, because as I watched the dub of Planetes, actually it's pretty reasonable. It's not bad. I was pretty shocked by how much I still enjoy it, and now I am starting to kind of rethink my idea that all dubs are bad. Maybe the dubs aren't necessarily bad; they're just not as good. I'm thinking, when I think of when I really got this attitude was when Eureka 7 was airing on Adult Swim, and the English dub for that is, compared to the Japanese version, is just so awful in so many ways. It really just killed the joy of trying to watch these shows in English for me, with a couple of exceptions.
But have you ever watched a show where the Japanese, you could distinguish the difference between a good Japanese dub, which is what it is, right, and a bad Japanese dub?
I could not tell because I don't speak Japanese whatsoever.
Dang.
It's all foreign language to me, regardless of how accurate it may or may not be.
I think dubs these days are becoming a lot more passable just because studios are actually, or dubbing studios are actually putting more effort into it. Like they're realizing people actually care about the dubs. Whereas back in like the 90s, early 2000s, it was like just give Vic Mignogna, he'll do the thing. Or like oh wait, that was a bad example.
Yeah, it's like you have to pull out Vic Mignogna.
Shit, sorry. But they're like, just get the dub crew and they'll do their thing. And like you would have your exceptions of like good dubs, like Full Metal Alchemist, Big O, the ones I can think of immediately. And like there are some shows now where I cannot watch it except in the dub.
Yeah, and I feel you there. I feel that way about Ghost in the Shell and Neon Genesis Evangelion and Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, Full Metal Alchemist. Basically all the like star shows of that time of Adult Swim. And I don't know if those shows got such great dubs because of Adult Swim, or if Adult Swim is just that good at picking and choosing, what were the best ones.
I think something that as someone who still goes down the dub route every now and then, I think one of the things that's kind of increased quality over dubs is because the people who are dubbing now, the dub actors who are going in, are people who are raised off of dubs. So they listen to these products and they say, oh, well, that's a little bit cheesy, or oh, if I would not, like these scenes, I see what they're trying to do. They're overacting, and so they're making better performances, I think. And one of my favorite dubs, I guess, right now is not any other particular part, but part 5 of JoJo. I think is really a solid dub.
Really,
because they overplay it when they need to, but they don't. And I think that just this raising on dubs is producing better dubs as well. Because I mean, like, what kind of direction would you have had back then? I mean, were they taking it seriously as a product, or was it just, I don't know,
Yeah, that's a really good point, and that had never occurred to me.
Yeah.
But that totally makes sense. Now I want to watch part 5 with the dub.
Well, I put to anything I recommend dub. I would really want to put an asterisk next to it because I can be a dumb dub baby sometimes. And so like being experienced to something over and over again will make you just say that, oh, well, this isn't that bad. Cause you're talking about the Erica 7 dub. And I was like, I kind of like it.
Oh, word.
But
I don't like it at all.
I don't like Renton's voice. Like your main character can't sound like that. It's
and they do different things with the translation too, in a way that, like the way instead of calling it scub coral, they keep calling it scab coral in a way that is like kind of like nails on a chalkboard to my head,
Yeah, I definitely I only watched Erica 7 dub, so that's why I was kind of just like scratching my face, like it's got its moments.
So is the dub sub war, is that irrelevant now, you think? Is that in the past? I feel like that was a huge discussion at one point. And people were really adamant about which side, you're either on one side or you're on the other.
I mean, the hardcore weaves are always going to be like on subs because, I still have that purity sometimes. Like, if it's not Japanese, then it's not true to the authorial intent. But while we're on the subject of dubs, I've said earlier that, like, dubs these days are becoming more passable on average. But then I just remembered the Netflix Evangelion redub and how, like, the characters flip-flop every episode on how to pronounce nerve. Like, they say nerve, norv.
Okay.
Third children. He's the third children.
Okay. That's a different fault. And I think go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, the sub versus dub thing, I don't think it makes much sense to me, really and truly, because there are certain shows out there, like comedy shows, like you're not going to understand the humor and the pronunciation, like maybe they're inflecting it to make it funny, I guess. Like, for example, the only I will never watch the show subbed, I refuse to, is Oron, because I feel like Oron has perfect comedic timing. I feel like the voices are exaggerated just perfectly. And I feel like sub and dubs nowadays should really be based off the kind of content you're trying to watch, like I wouldn't watch a shonen dub because I feel like there's a lot more intensity in the actual combative stylings that they use for voice work, rather than in dubs. But again, I don't know. That's just my personal laying it down how I interpret it. And there are certain genres that I feel like just do better in sub and some that do better in dub. And humor shows, comedic shows, stuff that rely on you to understand that this person is making an inflection to be a joke or they're using a comedic voice. I think that you need to watch those dubbed, but then again, they'll fuck them up really hard and then they'll be awful. So I don't know. That's my stance on the world. I'm unfortunately very centrist on it. So
you just want to grill.
What?
That's like the centrist tenet. I just want to grill, for God's sake.
I just want to anime.
Geoff, I know you said that you, like in the Discord, you said you want to keep this under 2 hours, and I think we're starting to skirt that line.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts about the show?
I would watch another 24 episodes of this easy.
Yeah,
same.
Let's sign a petition, get the show back on the air, or OVA. What is it now? Nets VA? It's N. What's the abbreviation now?
What?
It's no longer OVA. It's just straight to.
It's
straight to the internet. Yeah.
Original net animation, which is ONA, which I don't like because of ONA holes. So that tenses me up just from my rearing.
Yeah, Gundam Thunderbolt is a ONA, right? An ONA.
I want to get inside that.
Oh,
I just can't. I can't say it. I got to train myself. But
would anybody like it's ONA, right?
Yeah,
Is saying ONA?
ONA.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
you
it's-
kind of lost either way. You either have Ona now or Ova, like previously.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, just if they produce more, that'd be great. I don't think they will, but
Yeah, I don't think they ever will.
this is just a lost classic, kind of hidden gem.
Yo, how fucked up would it be if they made more like Furikuri style? Like they just
Fuck
brought it
that.
back for no
No.
fucking reason.
Ooh.
No. Fuck
Golden
that.
Boy alternative and Golden Boy progressive.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Kill
no.
me now, Daddy.
They make Silver Boy and Bronze Boy.
Ah.
Quartz Boy.
Fool's
They're-
Golden Boy.
Iridium Boy.
They'll make a Golden Girl adaptation
Yeah.
of sorts,
Like,
spin-off.
Golden Gal.
But yeah, go ahead and check this show out. You can get it on DVD, I believe still, and I think it's on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Crunchyroll.
Okay. If you have any,
I had to turn on my maturity thing to watch it on Crunchyroll. Actually,
Yeah, that's
what?
that's some bullshit. It didn't affect you, Brad, because I already went through the trouble. But that was some bullshit. I was like, where the fuck is Golden
yeah,
Boy?
yeah. I could find it on. I could find it like on my little phone app for Crunchyroll, but I couldn't find it on my Roku TV thing for Crunchyroll. I had to go onto the website and go to the settings and turn off the maturity filter, and then it came up correctly.
And like that bothers me because now I'm looking like, what else were you hiding from me, Crunchyroll? And I guess just Madeca Box? Is Madeca Box mature? Because that's what popped up after I turned that on, and I don't know.
You can also probably get this on Laserdisc. If you're really stretching for alternative media, but I'm sure that's coming back at some point.
Yeah, well, what we got to do is get Legends of the Galactic Heroes on Laserdisc, so it has all the appropriate title cards and characters.
Oh yeah, now we're talking, Dan.
And
How about we get the Legends of Galactic Heroes Laserdisc Collections box set where it costs like $2,200 on Right Stuff Anime on Sentai Filmworks.
Yeah, fun.
Yowza.
And after you're done watching an episode, you can use that to eat your dinner off of those big ass laser discs.
Fuck,
Yeah,
I would
laser-
probably frame that. I would probably frame the Laserdisc art.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely hang it up like a record.
Yeah.
Don't they still have
laser
like
discs are pretty cool.
at
Yeah,
the
they are.
at the Hoover Second of Charles the Laserdisc of Space Jam?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, that's sick. Fuck yeah. Space Jam really is like one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. It was a fucking highlight of human culture.
It's something, my man.
Send that off into space as a representation of humankind.
It's brilliant. It's a perfect movie.
Yeah, it's up there with Coppola and
Wachowskis
the
The
Wachowskis.
Wachowski.
and a Kubrick.
Yeah, Kubrick's of the world.
Yeah, I think so, to be honest. It was fucking amazing.
Looking back on it, Space Jam may have turned me into a fucking deviant. Because sometimes I
Yeah,
close
because
my
Lola
eyes.
Bunny's fucking hot in that shit, right?
It's like sometimes I close my eyes and see Lola Bunny. I'm not a furry, but it's just how it be.
Ding.
Oh man,
All right. Well, I think we've ran dry on this
I
episode.
could talk about Lola Bunny some more if you want me to pad this episode out. It all started with a claw machine that had a Lola Bunny doll in it. And I looked at it and I said, I wonder if I could take the basketball jersey off. And I can tell you right now, you can.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Here. Do I need to go on?
I can fill in the rest.
leave a voicemail.
Okay, I will leave a voicemail to play for this episode.
The mad midnight ramblings of a closeted furry in denial.
Guys, stick around at the end of this episode. I'm totally talking about some rabbit pussy.
Yo, what about how sick would it be if there was Space Jam Beastars crossover and Lola Bunny showed up in Beastars?
Ooh.
Didn't Legoshi play basketball? Some furry thing played basketball recently.
Goshi.
I'm gonna have to fact check that. I could do that. I'm going to do that. This is how I'm going to get into art back again. Just making my dream crossover.
Oh, your Lola Bunny / Haru fanfic.
That wasn't where I was going, but that's good.
Yeah, I could see that having potential. Haru is attracted to Lola Bunny, the most powerful bunny of them all.
Yeah.
Please leave a voicemail. I'm looking for the number. Where is it?
You know I'm gonna leave it like at 2 a.m, half drunk, and I'm gonna be like, Geoff, listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Lola Bunny's shirt came off.
I'm wearing it on my hand right now.
Yeah.
That's why you can't see my hands.
That number is 240-324-8295. Please call us, please. We're lonely. Please. Thanks, Matt and Brad, for joining us for this lovely discussion about Golden Boy.
Thank you for introducing me to this wonderful show.
My pleasure. All of our pleasures.
Yes.
Our pleasure.
Yes.
This has been great the whole way around.
Yeah. Do you guys want to plug your stuff?
I'm Matt from the Otaku Melancholy Podcast, and listen to our podcast. It's on every single streaming service I can possibly get it on. I will literally cast it to your goddamn refrigerator if I have to. Just listen. And we have a website, www.otakumelancholy, all one word.com. Not all in word is not in there. This isn't BoJack Horseman. This isn't the entire URL name. We are every Tuesday. We're not doing Friday anymore.
Yeah. This Friday is going to be our last Friday episode, maybe.
Fuck Fridays.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are so productive. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
We're hanging on by our shoestrings, man. June kicked our ass. Like, what up, bitch? I got 7 episodes for you lined up.
And fucking Craig was already pissed off about it because I was like, it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be fun. And then, the fuck you mean I got 5 voices to deal with? So it's going to be just every Tuesday and maybe every Friday whenever we have something really important to talk about. But
We're going to build up a library of stuff until we can get comfortable.
yeah.
And then take a siesta.
Yeah. So check us out every Tuesday. Join our Discord and tell me why my website is shit so I can cry about it. Because I was heartbroken. It's like, I'm not going to get mad. And then I got mad. It's like, I want to put my soul in that. He's okay. Anyways, that's our plug.
Craig did a great job when he pitch shifted Geoff's voice down in that episode we did together. That shit fucking
I
made me laugh out
literally
loud.
was on the floor for 3 minutes, like a solid 3 minutes.
That was truly amazing.
I am literally serious about this. I have the snippet of that recording, and I'm going to make it my text ringtone eventually. Just going aroused.
Yes.
Because it just brings a smile to my face every time I think about it. I can literally mark off that it comes on at minute 57 or something because I've listened to it so many times. It just brings such joy to my heart.
All right.